Hey everyone, quick, before we get to the real show, my name is Yurika Wheeler. I'm the producer here at RBLR Sports. Just wanted to pop in. We have emergency brand news. We recorded this show last night. Full disclosure, I have to edit in the main event, I guess, at the end of the show. James will tell you all about it in the intro here. But because of the times and us having to film different parts at different times, we weren't able to come live to you this weekend. But in the meantime, since we've been recording and editing, the Rowdies have a goalkeeper. For everyone who thought that we were lying, for everyone who thought we wouldn't actually have a goalkeeper this year, we do. Hey, how about that? So quickly, I will just say we didn't get to discuss this, and James and Carlos will discuss this next week on the next show. But yeah, Argentinian goalkeeper Nicolas Campisi is here. He comes from recently just played in Argentina for Union de Santa Fe in the Argentinian Premier League. He played 14 appearances, had 7 shutouts. If I'm reading from the press release the Rowdies put out, it's really nice to have Campisi saying, quote, "When the opportunity to come to the Rowdies was presented, I was very excited and hopeful. This was a personal decision I made on behalf of my family as well. But fundamentally, I came here to make history with the team and help the team from my position in goal. I think we will do well this season with our eyes on the championship at the end." This is good news from my limited research. Campisi seems like he is a sweeper keeper who is pretty accurate with a long ball. And, considering the level of defense that's going to be in front of him, there is an eye on having top flight level defense. And I believe that they brought in a goalkeeper from the Argentinian Premier League that, we'll see what he does in the ESL Championship. I believe that's going to be a good competition. It's a good level to come from and be in our league. Another international player that's brought in. We should hear more and more about the team as we approach week 1. So without further ado, just wanted to say that we get to talking about another signing that we made this week, but I will let James and Carlos take that away. So from all of us here at RBLR, thank you. We wanted to keep you up to date as much as we can. And of course, here, enjoy the show.
And now, you're tuned in to RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hello, everyone out there in Tampa Bay and beyond. This is James Knowles coming at you for the RBLR Sports podcast. I am here tonight to cover the Rowdies like I usually do. We have an extra portion of the show tonight that is going to be extracurricular to the recording that Carlos and I are doing in this moment. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Beforehand, Carlos, how are you?
James, I'm well. I'm a little tired. I got a good migraine going right now, which has been messing up the day a bit. So work was a little less productive than I like it to be. Took a nap about halfway through the day, which I did enjoy. I'll tell you that much. Watched some random French league soccer, and that's where we're at. I'll tell you this. I know it's like corny to say like I'm a PSG fan. I wouldn't say I'm a PSG fan, but I've been watching more games recently because William Pacho, Ecuadorian center back, starts for them now. He's playing so well. I just think it's so cool to see Ecuadorian like young stars that kind of went under the radar, like Vancaeyezeele, like early on in his career, just getting this crazy playing time at these really big clubs. So shout out to all those guys, Vancaeyezeele, William Pacho. There's so many Ecuadorian players making their way in Europe. That's been really fun to watch on a random afternoon like today. James, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. As I stated last week, there is a certain producer to this certain RBLR podcast who has been ducking a certain challenge that he agreed to. So we were able to get that done. And as part of this show, it will be spliced in so that you can see the the results of the day that it happened and see exactly how it went for our producer, Yurika. But we do have to get through a little bit of news beforehand. So there's actually quite a bit to get to.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to just jump in now because the Rowdies news for the day is it's not quite as crazy as it was last week, Carlos, but there
That was
is some big
ridiculous.
stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a report that we need to get to last of all for the Rowdies, a report that we're not exactly sure how far that's going to lead. We assume where it's going, but we'll get to all of that in a little bit. Please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe on any major podcast platform that you use. And, of course, please follow us on all social medias at RBLR Sports, whichever ones you use. Again, we are there, too. Now, let's get into the original bit of Rowdy's news that we had started the show with, or we had started the preparation for this show with, I suppose. The Rowdies added defender Thomas Vancaeyezeele for the 2025 season. Carlos, my particular word for this one is that this is good depth. This is another player that has already played with the Rowdies before, albeit for, I think it was a couple of months of a season. I don't think he was there for an entire season. So regardless, he is familiar with the training. He's familiar with the location, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. He's familiar with the group of guys. I think that he can offer us a good bit of depth, and also for the fact that he seems to be a little bit more versatile. He can play as a center back as needed. He can play in the midfield on a pinch, I think, and probably out wide right in a pinch as well. So I'm excited by this signing. Carlos, do you have anything in particular related to Vancaeyezeele?
I will say, if we get to the point where Vancaeyezeele is starting in the midfield, I would be very concerned about the injury situation.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
But everywhere else on the back line, comfortable with him coming in as a depth piece. He had 8 appearances with us, according to the unreliable Wikipedia, but just from a quick glance, 8 appearances. He did come in May in that season, 2022. I think he was with us the rest of the season, if I'm not mistaken, James. He just didn't get a lot of playing time for obvious reasons. The back line was pretty stout back then. But again, like you said, great depth piece, and that's, I think, the theme of this signing, absolutely. In those 8 games he had for us, though, there wasn't a bad performance that comes from it was a while ago, admittedly. It was a while ago, but I do recall like having great things to say about the limited performance, the limited minutes he had. Vancaeyezeele. So this is pretty great in terms of like where I wanted to be in the offseason. We had mentioned that a goalie is a different thing, but the back line had been an area where I wanted to see a little bit more depth because we have our potential starters, right? And we have Castellanos and we have Lasso's coming back from injury, and now Wyke, and we'll figure out what that back 3 or back 4 looks like. But it would have been thin if we just kind of rocked with what we had. I think Vancaeyezeele puts us at a comfortable point with our back line. If we started the season today with the guys we have available for our back line, I think I'd be pretty happy and comfortable with playing this for the full season. So I think that's what this does for me. Absolutely. Also, I do want to know that I did call this out on one of these episodes. I don't know if it was a wish list episode, but I had totally mentioned Vancaeyezeele as a potential depth target for us this season. So I'm going to take a little bit of credit for this one because I rarely get these free agent calls right. So I'm pretty amped that I got this one, at least kind of on the money. So this is great. I'm really excited for the more casual Rowdies fans to occasionally see this name pop up and say, how do I pronounce this? But, I'm excited for Sudal to educate the masses when he eventually gets a start in a random injury week. So, this is big. It's going to look like a pretty minor signing at first, but truly, I do think this is a pretty influential piece for us. Because there's always an injury, always, especially at the back line. There's always going to be an injury. And Vancaeyezeele, I think, will be able to step into that more than adequately. So this is great. I'm really happy with this. Like you said, he's versatile too. So he could be a Forrest Lasso, but he could also be an Aaron Guillen if he needs to, right? 2 different types of defenders. So I'm really happy with this. And he's got kind of a strange career, James. I'm looking at after his time with us, he ended up back in France in the 6th tier of soccer over there. Didn't even have I can't tell if he didn't log an appearance or if they just didn't keep track of it. Then ended up back in the USL at Hartford Athletic, where he actually played a lot last season. So Hartford was a pretty not like fantastic team or anything, but He was clearly getting starts over there, 28 appearances for them last season. So it's not that this is just exclusively a depth piece going around the USL. Like, this is a starting quality player, to be clear, for a lot of USL teams. We're just in a very fortunate position where I think we can comfortably say he'll probably not be starting for us off the bat, but it's really good to know that this is a starting caliber player on a lot, if not most, USL teams. So really, really good to have him. I'm really excited to have him back.
Yeah, I think that the familiarity does help, because as much as things are going to change year over year, even month over month, depending on form, it is still true that having familiarity with the players that you're going to be playing with does help things. And I really believe that the players that we have already, he's going to be familiar. I don't remember everyone that he was on the same field with, but he's going to be familiar with several of them, and that will give us a little boost if and when he's needed. Like you said, Carlos, I don't think he's quite at the level of Aaron Guillen, Forrest Lasso, let's say Robert Castellanos, if that's the starting three once we ultimately get there, fingers crossed. But the other issue is there's always an injury crisis. We have seen it every one of the last several years. So he can step into multiple positions if we need be when that happens. And it depends on how many people are going to be injured in that moment. But I'm excited that he is going to be the player for that role. And also an international player, not for a FIFA recognized team, but within CONCACAF, there are a couple of teams who play our competitions, and they don't necessarily have the chance to qualify for the World Cup. That's unfortunate for them. But at the same time, it is a little cool that we might have somebody who is getting to play in international games, especially in the CONCACAF Nations League when that gets going again in March, I believe. So just one more thing to keep an eye out on. But that is Thomas Vancaeyezeele.
In case you're curious, and you mentioned the 2022 roster, the defenders he was sharing that back line with were Robert Castellanos. That was that season that Robert Castellanos went down injured early on, which is half the reason why we went out and got Thomas Vancaeyezeele on loan. Aaron Guillen was on that squad as well. And then Lawrence White was also on that 2022 Rowdy squad. So that was
there we go.
Forrest Lasso was abroad somewhere in one of the Nordic countries. I can't remember. But again, Jordan Scarlett was back then on that squad as well. But Robert Castellanos, Aaron Guillen were on that team. So like you said, familiarity for a good chunk of the season. Didn't play a lot, but from May through the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken, shared a locker room, practice field, and whatnot with these guys. So good stuff for familiarity. I am a big fan of going back and grabbing former players like this because, like you said, the adjustment is a lot easier. The culture is already known. There's not much that's changed in the Rowdies play style from that point in 2022 to where we are now. Even Robbie Nielsen has kind of continued with Neil Collins' system. Unless that changes dramatically this offseason, I would imagine that transition is not going to be too bad for Lawrence White and Thomas Vancaeyezeele and maybe even Robert Castellanos with his limited time post-injury on the field as well.
Absolutely. So there we go. Another good piece to the Rowdies roster. And I think that we are looking up, at least defensively. At the moment, though, we do need, let's say, one goalkeeper wouldn't be too bad. And
they're showing up they're showing up in the training content.
Yes, that's true.
We know that we're at least practicing with keepers. Who they are is still a question. I would imagine it's someone we've signed full-time at this point. I can't imagine we're just kind of running with academy kids at keeper in February in preseason. So I would hope this is something that we just haven't announced yet for the sake of, I don't know, like building up the excitement. But it is kind of weird that we haven't announced one yet. So, but we know they're there. We know they're practicing. So I hope it's an actual keeper. And I love the academy kids, but we do need some veteran quality back there.
Yeah,
we've been really lucky with the keeper situation for the last several years. So high expectations in net for the Rowdies, James.
Yeah, and based on the recent patterns for the Rowdies signing a lot of former players, there was only speculation, I will say, within our little RBLR group chat suggesting that maybe this was a Connor Sparrow, CJ Cochran, maybe Evan Loro type, who can say.
It's hard to
but
tell.
I would certainly love. I would probably love if any of those joined, but I guess we'll see. We will have to see. So,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
run it back with one of those guys, and I think that we might be all right.
Yeah. CJ Cochran was that 2022 Rowdies keeper, James, and in that kind of theme of going back to 2022 to pick up our players this offseason. That being said, I don't think he's touched the field professionally since then.
That is interesting.
he was supposed to go back to OKC Energy. If you remember, he was on loan in 2022, and they just never took the field again. And I hope that changes. But that was a 2022 keeper. If we need to go back and grab him, I don't think Phil Brano is available anymore on account of hanging up the boots. And Ryko just signed for Las Vegas again, right? So those were your 3 2022 keepers. You're going to have to go outside of 2022, I think, to get your next Rowdies keeper. I wouldn't mind seeing Evan Loro return, James. It's unfinished business for him.
I know
there's some unfinished business for him. So that'd be nice for sure. James, anything else we want to mention about Vancaeyezeele? By the way, or are we ready to move on to the next point?
I think we can move on to the next point because it is also a big one here. U.S. Soccer has finalized the 2025 Open Cup, which I wrote down as the 110th. I actually believe it is the 111th Open Cup based on reading that I've done. So we will enter in the third round in April. And by then, I'm assuming most of the USL League Two, not League Two, but most of the UPSL and those amateur level teams. I don't remember all of the other leagues that are considered the fourth division. I believe all of those teams will have joined, and USL League One as well. So by then, we probably will be one of the better teams in the competition, and we'll see, of course, how long that lasts. But we at least have the beginnings of a schedule for that. And Carlos, I think there's more information, but what are your immediate thoughts related to us getting the finalized Open Cup schedule set up and out in the public? I think that's a good first step, at least.
My initial reaction was, oh wow, we're still doing this. I thought there was a chance that the Open Cup just kind of collapses in on itself this season after the debacle that was last year with MLS just not wanting to play, essentially, and then playing 8 teams. And my second reaction was, oh, MLS is including 16 teams. It's more than I thought they would. So that's curious. I mean, I don't know why, 16. I don't know why specifically half the league, right?
Well, I was reading about the convoluted process that they are calling a qualification because supposedly they have imposed a limit of 2 competitions outside of MLS.
Okay.
For all MLS teams, which means the Leagues Cup, the Open Cup, the Canadian Championship, and the CONCACAF Champions League, whatever the hell the new name for that is.
Yeah.
Of those, you can only play in 2. Why? Because fixture congestion that they imposed on themselves. And how do we qualify for these? However, we threw sticks on the ground and they aligned. It's crazy.
Basically. But for the sake of being positive, I'm glad the cup is still around and we're still running with it.
Yes.
I'm glad there's more MLS teams in it instead of just 8. I don't know. I like you said, the convoluted qualification, quote unquote, process that was or is the MLS, deciding factor for who plays and who doesn't play is confusing to me. But I do know Orlando's playing in it. So I would assume at one point or another we get that matchup. If we don't, just combust in the first round we play in, or maybe we play them in the first round. Who knows? I don't really know how this is going to work. I think the MLS clubs come in the round after, though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I would imagine we get that matchup again, which is fun because I would like to knock them out of this tournament and beat them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's another tournament to play for. I kind of, in my head, was preparing for the fact that the Jägermeister Cup would become the new thing we turn our focus to in season, on account of like not having a U.S. Open Cup. I thought that's kind of why we were trending in this direction, or we're making this move of doing this cup, and the USL was making its own domestic thing, domestic in-season tournament. So I'm a little surprised it's actually happening. Pleasantly surprised, but yeah, I mean, this should be the most like official pieces of hardware we've been able to play for in one season, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's ever been like 3 actual tournaments that mean something going on for us in one season. We've randomly had like these kind of like supporter made, like the Suncoast Challenge Cup, I think was what we called it, with like Fort Lauderdale and Miami. And there's like, you know, this Charleston rivalry we have, where we send them a treasure chest, or they send us a treasure chest based on who wins the series. But this will be the first time we have the Open Cup, another in-season tournament challenge cup situation, the Jägermeister Cup, and then the league itself. So that's 3 pieces of hardware, James, that you could win in one year, hypothetically. I wouldn't mind being the first team to do the treble in the United States, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy it's around. I'm happy we're still doing this. And I do hope this is a positive trend of working our way towards being back to where we were with the Open Cup, of all the teams being in it. I hope last year was a bit of a wake-up call for everyone, that we can all take it a bit more seriously, that the U.S. Soccer Federation takes it a bit more seriously, that we market this better. So I think this is still good news, all things considered. I think this is great news. So I'm happy.
All right. Well, there we have it, folks. Carlos is happy, and I am relatively happy with it too. Still would prefer MLS pull their weight, but like we said, that's for another time. Let's move on to the next piece. The Rowdies announced that to celebrate their 50th anniversary, which is from 1975 to 2025, of course, they will be having a new crest on all of their jerseys this year. Now, we do not have that on a display that I can give you because it's not out on any merchandise yet. But if you go on the Rowdies website, or literally any of their social media, you can find the new crest. Carlos, what are your opinions of that so far? I think that, I mean, it's not the most standout piece because it is representing 50, but I still like it.
I'm curious if it's going to be like actual like crest on the front left of the shirt, or if it's going to be like a sleeve patch or something like that.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Like the training tops that they have still just have like the normal Rowdies logo. I don't know what that'll be. Maybe they include it just on like an alternate top or something. I don't know. I'm curious. I mean, it's a nice little design that they put together. I'm sure it would look great, honestly, on the front left of a jersey as well. If it's just that, if we're rocking it as the main crest, it looks like it would look great on a jersey. Granted, we don't know what the jerseys look like yet. I know that's something that's coming out in the next several weeks as well, too. So keep an eye out for that.
I will say, reading through this, the new 50th anniversary crest will be prominently displayed throughout the season, including as a featured element on the Rowdies 2025 primary and secondary kits. So, Carlos, you're right. That doesn't sound like it's going to be actually the crest over the heart necessarily.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere on the jersey, I'm sure. Could it be a sleeve patch? Could it be I don't know. I mean, like we have Charlie. If everybody remembers that was news for like a few days, and I think we kind of just never mentioned it again. Charlie, the New Jersey designer, tends to be rather creative in a good way. So there's a chance that they pull out some crazy stops for the alternate jersey or something, and it's like, I don't know. I have no clue what they're gonna do, but I think it's a good thing. I mean, it'll probably be a nice little design. I thought we were founded in 1974. We did win the championship in 1975. So I don't know. Maybe it's like 50/51. Either way, I'm happy we're doing a 50th anniversary celebration, because we didn't do it last year. We definitely should this year.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of soccer clubs in this country, James, that can say that they're celebrating 50 years of history. So it's pretty fun.
You could say that there are almost no others.
I can't. I mean, you have Timbers, right? Portland Timbers were around a while ago. Charleston Batteries in the 90s, right? I think the longest like ongoing one. So I don't know. There's a few like clubs off the top of my head that are like long historic clubs in the U.S. I mean, the Rowdies are in that select few that can call themselves 50 years old. So that's pretty sweet. And I'm happy we're focusing on that a bit more this season. So fun stuff. I'm excited.
Yep, and to celebrate our 50th anniversary as a club, the actual club itself is running 3 themed nights over the course of the season. We will talk about these, of course, when we get close to them so that nobody forgets, because I will forget what's happening in April. I will forget what's happening next week. But on Saturday, April 26th versus Miami FC in the Jägermeister Cup, it will be anniversary night. On Saturday, August 16th versus Phoenix Rising, it will be original era night. And on Saturday, October 4th versus Monterey Bay, it will be modern era night. So if you want to keep those in mind, feel free. Or, of course, you can do like me and just wait for us to get a little closer when we will talk about it again. So, yeah, that is the dealio with those 3 nights related to our 50th anniversary celebrations. And I think that is pretty cool. Carlos, we have a report here of a player who might be signing with Tampa Bay, and we don't have any confirmation from the club. I want to stress that we do not have any confirmation from the club or anything along those lines, but at this point, I think it is worth discussing when there is an actual prominent report of a player out there, because that's, if you are a fan of any club that's, say, the level of Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, they will spend a whole podcast sometimes just talking about reports in the news of players that they're linked with. So I think that we can do that a little bit better here, and or at least a little close to that, and talk about this report for Scottish midfielder Cammy McPherson. Carlos, let's get into it.
Yeah, like you said, unconfirmed from the Rowdies. This was from @USLC Rumors on Twitter. 26-year-old midfielder Cammy McPherson is set to join the Tampa Bay Rowdies on loan from St. Johnstone, this club in Scotland. If you're not familiar, loan includes an option to purchase, and then he tagged Rouse Mob, Rowdies UK, and RBLR Rowdies. Don't know. I can't say James, you know this more than I do. I'm not a big follower of the Scottish leagues these days. I had a little bit where I was really keeping up with Motherwell, but you can't watch any of these games. So I got tired of looking for legal streams. But Cammy McPherson, St. Johnstone player, had a stop at St. Mirren for 5 seasons before hopping over to St. Johnstone. Has played his whole career in Scotland and actually helped St. Mirren get promoted from the Championship to the Scottish Premiership in 2017, 2018. So he's played a lot of games for St. Johnstone's, like 54 games since being there in 2022, 61 games for St. Mirren before that. So the guy who's played a lot of minutes in Scotland, mostly in the Scottish First Division, briefly on loan in League One for 9 games. And he's listed as a midfielder, but looks like more of a defensive midfielder, if I'm not mistaken. This is kind of just from a quick overview of what he, of like his profile. Yeah, so I can't say much about him. It's not like I've been able to like watch the film on him, because it's just not someone we've been putting too much attention into. We don't even know like if it's an actual confirmed transfer that's happening. But based on the history we have with Scotland and the connections that we seem to have over there, it wouldn't be surprising at all if this comes to fruition as a real thing. Obviously, our former head coach Neil Collins was from Scotland. Current manager Robbie Nielsen came directly from managing in Scotland and is very well connected over there. So I'm sure there's a connection in St. Johnstone from him that exists. Because he was a prominent manager over there for so long. So I'm really fascinated to see if this actually comes to fruition. We're kind of stacked in the midfield area already, though. Even particularly in the central midfield, I feel like we have a good depth of talent. But this guy's 25, so he's kind of in the peak of his physical timeline. He seems to have a great career going in Scotland. Seems kind of like a random time to make a loan move when you've had 56 games for the club you're on loan from. So count me as a little skeptical of this actually happening. But if it does, I mean, he seems to be a quality player at his defensive midfield area that could compete for starting minutes. But like I said, I mean, we're kind of stacked in the central midfield. So this would be a pretty good problem, quote unquote, to figure out, to see if, first of all, if this guy is really coming to the Rowdies, how he would fit into this scheme. Don't doubt he's a solid player. Like I said, 56 or so appearance. No, actually 66 appearances. He had 10 when he was on loan at St. Johnstone, for St. Johnstone. There's nothing really to turn your head at in the Scottish First Division. So solid looking player. But again, count me skeptical of him actually coming to the Rowdies on loan, especially, like I said, when you've had 66 games under your belt for the club you're seems to be a starter at. It doesn't really make that much sense to me unless he's like desperate to make a move to the US for whatever reason. So I don't know. Like I said, count me as a little skeptical, but might as well throw it in the news mix right now. James, thoughts? Do you share my skepticism? Does this seem to be a move that makes a little more sense to you than it does to me? Or if so, ignoring that, does this guy look like he could be a good addition to the squad?
Well, I will say, as much as he has been a regular for St. Johnstone, his minutes have been lesser this year, so I could see that would make sense for him getting more playing time. As to whether or not that means that he wants to go to Florida specifically, a lot of Scottish people do, but I don't know if that's usually for vacation as opposed to playing. So it's a possibility, and I will probably be leaning in your camp at the moment. And I guess we'll see, of course, how things go. I would be surprised if Robbie Nielsen really never brings anybody over from Scotland. I don't know if it would be Cammy McPherson specifically because of just exactly what you said. His position in the defensive midfield is seemingly relatively full, not impossibly full, but I would say that one of the Rowdies talismans, let's say, Lewis Hilton, he is one of the first players that we have on the roster. And as long as he is fit, more than likely he will be a starter. So I could see Cammy McPherson coming in and playing alongside of him, possibly. It's not something that I totally can't envision, but I'm not sure that I would expect him to come over here with so much, without more of an expectation of playing time coming from where he is, which is the Scottish Premier League, even though there's probably not a ton of money in there. Either way, we'll see how it plays out, and we'll see if he does end up over here. I guess that the possibility will always exist, of course, and we will see exactly where things land. Now, Carlos, we do have one small further piece of Rowdies news that I missed, and I'm glad that you noticed it, so I will turn it back over to you here.
Yeah, this is just from, I think I actually got this from the Rowdies Discord. It might have been Tom who threw this in there. This is from the Tormenta FC news cycle. Tormenta dropped their preseason schedule on January 31st. So last week, don't really care about their preseason other than the reason that I'm going to mention it right now, being that they have the Rowdies scheduled as a preseason match here. Obviously, the Rowdies haven't released any sort of preseason match schedule yet. So this is the only bit we have on our end right now, is that the Rowdies will be playing, according to Tormenta themselves. The Tormenta, what's their official name? South Georgia Tormenta FC. Will be traveling down here to face the Tampa Bay Rowdies in St. Petersburg, Florida on February 19th at 2 p.m. So this is a team that we've seen to play every preseason for the last several years now. So unsurprising. I don't know how big, it's not massive news or anything, but it's fun that we have our first confirmed preseason matchup, although it's from the other team confirming it and not us. I'd like to see our preseason schedule out at some point sooner rather than later. But I'm curious to see where they actually play this matchup. If Al Lang is still being repaired, I wonder if this is a Waters Avenue situation. It does say St. Petersburg, Florida, but they could just be throwing that in there since that's where Al Lang is. So, nonetheless, expect South Georgia Tormenta to travel down here February 19th at 2 p.m. for a matchup against the Rowdies somewhere in the Tampa Bay area. Whether that's open, whether it's closed, who knows? But there's a match happening. That's pretty exciting.
Yes, exactly. By then, I assume that there will be a goalkeeper on the roster who will be able to call himself the presumed starter for this team. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
I tried my hand at keeper back in my youth soccer days when in practice when our two keepers were out. I had a couple good reps. I had a couple good reps in practice. So if they're really strapped for talent, I can hop in, make a Tormenta appearance if needed. I could probably only allow like 4 goals. I could probably keep it like at 6 goals or less. Yeah. So like I'm around. Yeah. WWE entrance style. Like I'll come in, play my intro music, and I'll be there. But nonetheless, South Georgia Tormenta, February 19th, 2 p.m. somewhere in the Tampa Bay area against the Rowdies. Preseason time, James. It's fun. This is like we're finally getting a bit of news about games and stuff. This is awesome. This is great.
Can't wait for half a team's worth of trialists to be named to the roster. That'll be the most fun part for all of us.
Yeah.
Now, folks, we actually have the Hot Wings Challenge done by our producer, Yurika.
Should have picked the games better. He should have picked these results
He should have picked the games better, obviously. Yeah. And it's funny. We noticed while doing this that Yurika actually won the competition in 2023, went from first to worst in 2024. So we'll see how it goes in 2025, and we'll see who either has to do this challenge or maybe something a little different. But we will work on that as the season goes. We will get into that in just a moment. But beforehand, I want to say liking and subscribing is free. If you think you might need some new threads coming up this year, you can support our podcast just a little bit more by heading over to shop.rblrsports.com and checking out all the designs we've got going on there. There will be a link in the description, of course, and you can use the promo code COYR for 10% off. Hello, everyone. This is RBLR Sports here, and I am James Holmes coming to you for the RBLR Rowdy show specifically. We have had, over the course of 2024, a competition to predict the results of the Rowdies games. Anyone who was keeping track of that knows that our good pal and producer Yurika here did not do so well. He actually lost.
Yes, I did.
So he's been assigned a task, and that is effectively the Hot Wings Challenge. He's been ducking it for a little while now. I would say maybe a little too long, even. And to get him to do his punishment, we have found the hottest wings available to us, at least within the tri-state area, I'll say. And Yurika, would you like to show the people the good work that they have done?
I will. Here's the wet here.
And this one, I'll just read this to you.
Oh my God.
9 hottest peppers, including Devil's Breath, Carolina Reaper, Scorpion, Ghost Habanero, Red and Green Jalapenos, Chili de Arbol, and Cayenne. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, there is also a dry rub. That was not enough. There is a dry rub, another proprietary blend of all hot peppers in a dry rub this time. But yeah, so Yurika, how you feeling? Have you got any last words for us before you dive in?
I've been training throughout my life. I'd say I'm an aficionado of like good Mexican cuisine. Good Asian cuisine,
sure.
Buffalo wings, but I don't think I have a black belt in any of these areas. So I am absolutely not prepared for any of this. I am going to be annihilated by these wings. So I'm going to be sweating a lot. I'm probably going to take my hat off and get another one from the RBLR shop.
There we go.
So am I just eating these wings? Is that I'm just good?
We have got questions for Yurika while he is going through them. Some of them are trivia,
Some of them are a little bit more subjective. Some of them have a little bit of spice to them as well. So it's obviously nothing that you're not used to by the end of this. And yeah, that's the plan. That is our RBLR. That is our RBLR prediction game and the rewards and punishments. This is what we get.
The crowd's ready for it, obviously.
The crowd's ready.
I think now's the time.
All right, I'll leave you to it.
We'll get ready and then we'll get to this. All right, I, Yurika Wheeler of Sound Mind and Body, agree to this punishment. I wish I did better for the boys. I wish I did better, but hopefully we all enjoy my punishment. So I'm going to start with this. Oh my God, look at this thing. All right, for the lads.
You feeling it already?
Gotta get used to it. Oh my God. All right. Ooh.
Oh, he is not lying.
And there's no ranch, there's no blue cheese, there's no drinking, there's no water.
He is not lying. I had just a thumbnail of sauce. That is spicy.
It's gonna suck.
All right,
Good
Yurika.
one.
While you're working on that, I'm going to start something. There's a lot of soccer on here, and we're going to get to all those questions. But this is something that I feel might be relevant for specifically my wife and me who are here.
Yeah.
The hat is off, folks.
Yeah.
How many cats do you have?
I have two amazing cats. One, I'm gonna grab another wing, or get ready. I have Ybor, who's a black cat that we got off the street. He's named after the streets of Ybor where we found him. And we just got Katsumi, who is name in Japanese means victorious beauty. She's a gray tabby cat. All right, one down. Dry rub. That was easy.
How hot's that one?
It's a different heat. It's more of a chipotle, smoky, cayenne.
Folks, we're going to give him plus points because he said Chipotle and not Chipotle. At the same time, though, he does have to have it right after the prior chicken wings. So that's not going to be a great combo.
We're gonna go at, is that two? Is that good?
All right.
Question number two.
Question number two, Yurika. Every so often you have to step in as a guest host for one of our shows,
Yeah, I do.
including the RBLR Rowdies show. What makes you think that you're qualified to tell people about soccer?
Absolutely nothing. I am. I've been proud to be the idiot in the room for years now. Thankfully, though, I'm surrounded by James Knowles and Carlos and all the other people that have Matt Cox and Dan Indonino and just Steve Cundiff and all these guys that I've kind of been able to absorb. Even Mike Pendleton. I think that's a short list of people that I've been bouncing off questions to get my knowledge up very quickly. So I still wouldn't say I know anything, but my passion too. I guess I went from not knowing a lot to bleeding green and gold now. So it's between passion and being willing to learn. Maybe that gives me a little bit of qualification to say dumb words every once in a while on a podcast. All right.
Now, folks, we do have to take a point off because he forgot to name Leo Santos.
Oh, God. Leo, the superstar. Leo, yeah, of course. All right. These wings are hotter than those wings, but it's not like a reprieve, but I know we're doing my best.
He is already sweating, folks. He is sweating
All
heavy.
right. This one sort of fell apart, but holy crap.
All right, folks. Question number 3. This is going to be a trivia one. Yurika has already told me he's not great at trivia.
I'm not good at trivia.
Name every Rowdies Academy player to have played for the first team in a competitive fixture.
Oh my God. Tate Johnson?
We got one.
Indri Mastali?
We got two. Does Tejada count as an academy kid? They were just a trialist? No. Christian Ortiz? 3.
Okay, that's all of them that I know from here.
Do you want me to tell you the number?
They're of the last year or two?
Any academy player that we've signed.
I'd only know the last few years, man.
Yeah, they are from.
Oh my God.
They are from that time.
Oh my God, the UCF guy. No, I tap out. I did.
The answer is there are 5 players.
Yeah.
Tate Johnson, Andrew Mastali, Christian Ortiz, Nick Scubis.
Nick Scubis.
He's
at Ohio State.
He's at Ohio State. And Santi Castaneda. Santi Castaneda, who is currently
the German wonder kid.
Currently the best out of all of them, according to at least his career trajectory.
All right. Nate Worth might take him over in terms of young kids that we go away.
That's right. Well, we will have to see.
Santi Castaneda. All right, next question.
Let's go.
Oh, God.
We did not have we just did a trivia one. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
Now, what is your son's name?
My son's name is Valtteri Von Wheeler.
Why not a Rowdies player's name?
That's true. That's true. I disrespected. Like, who would I name? Pacific Nyongabiri would have been a great name for my child. Leo Fernandez would be someone you'd name your kid after. With as many Jordans as we've had on the team, I could have added another Jordan. Could have Lewis. Lewis would have been a good name. I would have liked Lewis. Lewis is a good name. All right, that was easy. You let me off the hook on that one.
There's some that goes up and down. I guess like the Wigs. He got through that one pretty quickly, at least.
Not a lot on that one.
I don't know if it helps or hurts to eat it quickly.
It hurts. It all hurts. All of it hurts. Yeah, I like a question, please.
All right.
Oh. And it. I would say it's a slow burn, but it's just like, it's just a burn. It's just
All right, we'll do one more trivia.
Yeah.
This one should be, well, you can guess this one.
All right.
The Rowdies host their first Jaeger Cup match ever.
Yes.
At home.
Yes.
Who do they play?
Naples?
No.
Wait. It's not Naples?
No. When the Rowdies play Naples, they play them in Naples.
When the Rowdies play Naples, they play them in Naples. Delirium is sitting in. Birmingham?
Still no.
Tormenta?
You're getting farther away.
Damn it. Miami?
Yes.
Okay.
It is Miami.
I don't remember who was in our group.
He's suffering, folks. The beads of sweat have not stopped.
Oh my God.
Just so everyone at home knows, I am also eating cauliflower wings, and they are a very nice sauce.
Oh, just shut up.
They're a very good one.
Oh God. All right.
Next question.
Yes, sir.
True or false?
Oh.
In each of the last 2 seasons, a Rowdies goalkeeper has recorded an assist.
False. We got one this year, but not last year.
So 2024 we got one, 2023 we did not.
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Both in 2023 and in 2024, a goalkeeper recorded an assist.
Yeah? Who got the assist in
Jordan Farr and Connor Sparrow.
He was he could play Route 1. Was that in like Pittsburgh or something?
That I don't know.
Oh. Folks, I feel as bad as I look right now. All right.
If you tried hot sauce, you would die. You would explode.
Yeah, Jamie, try the sauce. Try the sauce, Jamie.
I gotta give him props. He's getting through them quickly, though.
That's been the game plan. Just get to the bone, literally. Okay, next question.
All right. This should be a relatively easy one for you, I'm sure.
Yeah?
If the Rowdies played the Colorado Rapids in the Open Cup, who would you want to win?
Rowdies. I can tell you, as much as I am a Colorado boy, and I followed the Rapids through their 2010 MLS Cup championship as the Eastern Conference champion, mind you. I never had the, I'm crying. That's how much I love the Rowdies. I never had the level of passion for the Rapids that I do the Rowdies. 100%. Yeah.
Bonus points if you can name the city in which the Rapids play.
Commerce City.
And the RBLR Sports contributor who lives in Colorado.
Shout out to Alexa.
There we go.
Well, that's my girl. I thought you were going to hit me with what goalkeeper played for the Rowdies and the Rapids, and that would have been Pickens.
I did not have that, but yeah, good one.
Yeah. The medical department is checking in on me. I swear to you, I'm still good. I got 3 left.
All right. Next question. Who has won more encounters between these two teams?
Oh, God.
The Tampa Bay Rowdies or Louisville City?
Well, I don't want to say Louisville's won more, but I want the Rowdies to be the. We've beat them a lot recently and in playoffs. Is that including playoffs?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna say us.
You are correct.
Yes, let's go.
I wouldn't put a question on there that didn't make the Rowdies.
Let's go. The Rowdies, of course we did. Because, I remember when we started, Louisville was like, oh, God, they're the untouchable back-to-back winners of everything. But we beat them in the COVID thing. We beat them the Lasso, Guillen, Elevating, Imkasana, yes! Yes, let's go.
Bonus points, in fact, go to that game.
Yeah.
In our epic 3-2 extra time win over Louisville,
yes,
Lucky scored a double.
He did.
Who scored the other goal?
Oh my God. Yeah, Lucky got the equalizer and he scored in overtime, or extra time. Was it Lasso?
It was not Lasso.
I thought it was a weird thing. Seba? Guanzati? Then Dalgard?
It was not.
All right, I give up.
It was Steven Dos Santos.
Steven Dos Santos. Shout out to him. He just retired.
I think so, yeah.
Played in League One last year.
And won with Union
And won the
Omaha.
Cup. Oh, Union Omaha Cup. Yeah. Good for him. Hell yeah, Steven. Come on the show. All right.
You don't have to eat wings.
Yeah. Steven doesn't have to eat wings to get on the show.
He is through with the hottest sauce.
Oh my God. Holy crap. That is
Would you say one spicy meatball?
I don't know if you can see how I am drenched. All right.
This is a question that has to do with RBLR Rowdies coverage.
Yeah.
We have interviewed Lewis Hilton on the show multiple times.
We have.
And in those shows, he has told us his favorite club growing up. Which club is that?
West Ham?
You got it.
Let's go. Let's go.
You got it, folks.
Oh my God. This is for all the people that believed in me at the beginning of this video. The people that believed that I could get through it. And it's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all these people cheering me on. It's so tough. You good?
Folks, he did it.
Oh my God.
The wings are done. Our last question for Yurika.
Yeah. Do I want water? Yes. That's a great question. That's a great question.
How many Rowdies players
Yes.
in the modern era
Yes.
have made 100 appearances for the club? It is at the top of our dock that we open every time we have a show.
If I can name them, that'd be even better. But Frankie Filipino, Takuya Yamada, Matt Pickens. Who else is from that era? Going backwards, I guess. Jan Ekra, Dalgard, Quinzati, Fernandez, Doherty. Did I say Doherty?
Nope.
I said Filipino. I said Yamada. I said Pickens. I said Ristov. How many more am I missing?
You are missing 1, 2, 3,
Oh my God.
4, 5.
I should know all these. I can't think straight. Well, obviously I can't think straight. Oh my God, who am I? Hilton?
Yes.
Oh my God. Lucky didn't do it.
Lucky did
Lucky
do it.
did do it. Lucky did do it. Sorry.
You got 3 more.
So Lucky, I got 3 more.
Yes. I'll tell you,
Oh my God.
2 of them are defenders, and one of them is
Ian?
Yep. One of them is a defender, and one of them is a winger.
Is Lasso on that list yet?
No.
I don't think so. That would have been okay, but Gian for sure. Not Lawrence White. I said Doherty. I said Dalgard. Winger.
Sometimes you'll see him at Rowdies games.
Is Savage? Okay, Savage is there.
Savage is there.
Yeah.
He's got 1 more, folks. He has 1 more player.
God.
It's a defender. Still active.
Oh God.
Not with the Rowdies.
Jordan Scarlett.
That is not correct.
Oh God.
Not in USL,
Yeah.
but in North America.
Connor Antley.
There we go.
Let's go. Thank you for the hint.
He did it. He did it.
Oh my God, I need this water. It's not doing much. And the worst part is I'm gonna have all this in my beard,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna smell like cayenne pepper and chili de arbol, and maybe that won't be so bad. All right, well, I guess, am I gonna sign this off?
You are ready. You are good to go.
For the lads.
2025 is upon us.
Yes. I guess 2 things I'll say before we get out of here. I told James I'd do my hot take at the end of this. Oh my God, I just rubbed my eye. Why did I rub my eye? Why did I rub my eyeball? That's not good. That's not good at all. Jamie is now corpsing over in the corner because I just rubbed my eye with my hot sauce. Oh my God, that's not good. My hot take is I think the Rowdies are already a playoff team. Even I know there's about 7 or 8 more players that need to get announced. I don't know exactly how many. I just did it again. Jamie just coiled in horror as she saw me reaching for my eyeball. Oh my God. The Rowdies are already a playoff team as constructed. Their next level, are they a championship level or can they make it that far? Depends on the defense specifically Guillen and Lewis Hilton having amazing bounce back years to where we know they can. It also requires Nate Worth taking a massive leap as he gets into form. I think he'll get more minutes this year. I think he'll be an awesome contributor, and he will be a difference maker to get us beyond just a playoff qualifier and into going there. And oh my God. And I also think it's going to take maybe changing up the tactic a little bit, the formation a little bit. We have a ton of players that can play multiple positions, including bringing in Lawrence Wyke. So we're going to want to see something in this now another year into Nielsen's system that we're utilizing Wyke. Maybe he's a fullback in a back four. Maybe he's in the midfield next to Hilton as they kind of work a little bit in the midfield, because that's kind of been some of the problems, getting overloaded and the defense collapsing. So we do those three things. I think that was three things that I said.
It was some number of things.
Then we will get to the thing. So from all of us here, from myself at RBLR, for James who put me through the ringer, for the wings that put me in the hospital almost, this is Yurika. And I guess we'll kick it back to you guys to finish the show. All right, I'm out.
And there it was, folks. The Hot Wings Challenge finally completed by our producer Yurika. Well done to him.
Damn time.
And about damn time, but also legitimately, I was there. It is not a lie. I tried the sauce. It is ridiculous. It is over the top. So yeah, if you do want to try it, let us know. We can let you know where to get it, but it was actually legitimately extremely hot, and I would not wish that on anybody, but I suppose the guy who does the podcast for us, Carlos.
Yeah. And maybe you next year, maybe you. So who knows?
We'll have to see how I do. I'm gunning for first again this year, because I got so close and then I lost on the tiebreaker as well, So we're going to have to see how it goes.
Yep. Juan Tejada saved me. Juan Tejada and Georgetown legend Aiden Rocha saved me when I picked Colorado to win the final over those pesky Rhode Islanders, who had a great season, by the way. Shout out JJ Williams. That was fun. Yurika, good job. Good job for tanking that. Yurika is our overlord listening in the background. You can't see him on screen. Obviously, this was a podcast episode you should watch on YouTube on video, so you get all the content. But you can't see Yurika, but he's back there typing in our chat as we speak. So congrats to him for tanking that like a dog. So good job. James, a little bit of extra time news we can run through really quickly as we begin to wrap up here. Tyler Adams joined the ownership group for USL League One side Westchester SC. Kind of random, but cool for a youngish player to say he owns a club in U.S. soccer. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and he's not the only one on the men's national team to own a club that is part of the USL umbrella, and specifically in the New York area. In fact, Tyler Adams is a part owner of USL League One side Westchester SC. Meanwhile, Timmy Weah is a part owner of the Brooklyn FC club, which currently comprises the women's side in the USL Super League, one of the rivals of the Tampa Bay Sun, and soon to be a member of the USL Championship. As far as I'm aware, I think that they're supposed to start in 2026, provided, of course, everything stays on track. They are still working on making sure that they have a stadium situation set up for the team that is literally currently playing their season. So it's
in first place, by the way. In first place.
Yeah, they are doing well, at least on their field, whichever field it turns out to be in any given day. But good for Tyler Adams and Timmy Weah. But good for Tyler Adams. I'm happy to see that both of them are supporting their local soccer options, both where they come from. I know that we have had players involved in ownership groups before, including Tim Howard with Memphis. We're going to hope that it goes a little bit better than that. And I don't know how much Tim Howard can impact whether or not that team stays afloat or not, because it does come down to finding a place where you can build a stadium and having the money to build a stadium. As much as Tim Howard probably has a good deal of money, he doesn't necessarily have that, I would assume, laying around. So it's harder than just being a very big name in the soccer world. But either way, we wish them all the best of luck, and their teams the best of luck when they're not playing our teams, of course.
Yeah.
The next thing that I wanted to highlight, Argentine winger Sebastian Blanco has joined the Miami FC for the 2025 season. Anyone who is unaware of Sebastian Blanco, former MLS DP player, that is a designated player for Portland Timbers, meaning that he was on one of the salaries that they could not include in their cap space. That's how big it was. And I am very surprised, even at his age, that he has joined Miami. But I guess they have mostly, as far as I'm aware, mostly an Argentine ownership group. They have an Argentine manager now, so in that sense, it kind of follows. But it's very weird. It's still very weird to see.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Like you said, Sebastian Blanco played 159 games, 40 goals for Portland Timbers. Like you said, one of, if not their best player in several years in that time span. Played with San Lorenzo several times in Argentina. Started his career at Lanús, where he played 128 games, another pretty large team in Buenos Aires. Yeah, guy has a lot of talent. He's definitely on the back end of his career at 36. Spent last season in San Lorenzo, where he only played 8 games in the first division in Argentina. So probably not the amount of playing time he wanted over there.
Yeah.
I could see him. I don't know what the connection is. Obviously, I'm sure there's a connection between the Argentine coach and the ownership group and someone at San Lorenzo or someone in Sebastian Blanco's management group. I don't know. There's a connection in there that got him there, but this for him seems to be an area where he could get more minutes, presumably. I don't know how well this will go for him, frankly. Like I said, certainly on the back end of his career. And the USL can be a tougher league than I think some folks think when it comes to being a retirement league. Very quick league. It's a very fast-paced league.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how well this will go for him. But it's a pretty big name for Miami FC, and maybe that gives them a little bit of momentum that they need this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what else they put into this roster, because so far I believe that is only 2 players announced.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the best there. Moving on to our last bit of news, the Tampa Bay Lokai Champions League, which is a high school league, will be doing their 8th draw for boys and 4th draw for the girls side this weekend at Ferg Sports Bar, with President Ryan Helfrich planning to be there and show support. Perry Vanderbeck is also deeply involved. Ryan Helfrich, of course, is currently involved with the Rowdies, and Perry Vanderbeck is a former player who, by the way, it should be noted, did the voiceover for the Rowdies' 50th anniversary video. So just a little thing there. RBLR will be there as long as we are available to do so. So that will be between myself or Yurika. Carlos, I don't think you'll be able to fly in just for that specifically, but if we can get there, then we will be there. But we did want to highlight the news related to it because it is a cool initiative put on for the high school players who get to play in, a Champions League where, of course, based on the name, the best of the best get to play each other there. And it should also be noted that Santi Castaneda was the MVP of this league in the past years. I don't remember which year it was, but obviously he is now with Paderborn in Germany. So there are some good players coming out of this. Now, Carlos, is there anything else we need to hit on before we get out of here this evening?
No, I just want to shout out Perry Vanderbeck for making an appearance. I'm in my little middle school alumni Facebook page, and he made an appearance at the career day there. So that was pretty fun. My mom tagged me in that, and he was having a blast with those kids. He was playing soccer outside, and I was like, that's crazy. I didn't have Perry Vanderbeck show up for my career day, I'll tell you that much. That was pretty cool of him. So that's all I want to say on that end. And I love the Tampa Bay Champions League. It's super fun. When I was at Jesuit, it was some of my favorite high school sports memories. Kids down there take it really seriously, show up in numbers for those games, and it's fun. It's another in-season tournament for these high school programs that gets the players excited, gets students excited, and it's like Champions League. It has a fun name to it, right? So it's pretty sweet stuff. And I'm glad they're still doing this 8th season for the guys, 4th season for the girls. It's fun stuff. And I'm glad that the Rowdies help out in some way, shape, and form.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, with that, I will go ahead and say thank you, listeners, for tuning in. I think you more than got your money's worth, which is free tonight, for watching Yurika with his Hot Wings Challenge. But if you would like to get more content like that, you know what to do. Follow RBLR Sports at RBLR Sports on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, anywhere you are, we are too.
Everywhere.
I'm mostly on Twitter at RBLR James K, or you can use the hashtag AskRBLR, or you can get at Carlos. Where?
At Carlos TPA10 on x.com/Twitter. I'm there. Come follow me.
And please like and subscribe to our podcast. You can get the full experience where you have to go today to watch Yurika suffer through his wings on YouTube. We are on Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, Apple and Google Podcasts, wherever you are. Come on, you Rowdies.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.